All right, diving into something kind of interesting today. Viril Wood.
Viril Wood.
Yeah, a male enhancement supplement. And we've got a few different places we're going to look.
Yeah.
A YouTube review from a guy who says he's used it in the official Viril Wood website, and then 2 Medium articles that are kind of taking a look at this stuff.
Yeah.
So our goal is to kind of figure out what Viril Wood is saying it does, what's in it,
Right.
and then what people are actually saying about it.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see these different ways we learn about, these kinds of products these days.
Yeah.
You've got these personal stories and then the marketing stuff from the company.
Yeah.
And then you've got these articles that are trying to be a little bit more, objective about it.
Yeah.
So it's a good reminder to look at all the different angles before you decide what you think.
Exactly. So let's start with that YouTube review.
Okay.
And we meet a guy named David.
David.
And he was dealing with erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
And how it was affecting his relationship. And he decided to try Viril Wood.
Okay.
And he said after a month, he saw a big improvement.
Right.
Both in how he was doing and how he felt about it.
Yeah.
But he also says it's important to buy from the official website so you don't get a fake product.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Counterfeit supplements, they're a huge problem.
Right.
You just never know what you're getting.
Yeah.
They might not even work at all, and they could actually be dangerous.
Yeah.
So it just shows how important it is to really think about where you're buying this stuff from and do your research.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the source, let's look at the Viril Wood website.
Okay.
And like you might expect, they say a lot of great things about Viril Wood.
Okay.
They say it's all natural ingredients, made in the USA, in FDA-approved facilities.
Right.
They even offer like a 180-day money-back guarantee.
Wow.
So they're really trying to tell you that it's safe and high quality.
I mean, it's interesting how much they're claying up this whole natural ingredients thing.
Right.
It seems like that's a big trend these days with supplements.
Yeah.
People care a lot more about what they're putting in their bodies.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that just because something's natural doesn't mean it's automatically safe or effective.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So they claim that Viril Wood can improve your blood flow.
Okay.
Boost your stamina, increase your libido,
right,
and give you, firmer, longer-lasting erections.
Okay.
They even list some of the 14 natural ingredients.
Oh, wow.
A few of them I was like,
Really?
Okay, like L-citrulline,
Okay.
maritime pine bark extract, and wait for it, horny goatweed.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
That's so.
Now, some of those, like L-citrulline, they've actually done some research on it.
Okay.
And it seems like it might actually help with blood flow.
Interesting.
So L-citrulline, your body converts it to L-arginine. And L-arginine helps make nitric oxide.
Okay.
Which relaxes your blood vessels and makes them wider.
Okay.
So it could potentially help with, erectile function.
Interesting. So there might be some real science behind it.
Yeah, maybe.
But what about these other ingredients?
Yeah.
Like the maritime pine bark extract and horny goatweed.
Yeah.
Are those just fancy names for, I don't know?
Well, maritime pine bark extract, it's got antioxidants.
Okay.
And some studies suggest it could be good for your blood vessels in general.
So?
But there's not a lot of research specifically on erectile dysfunction.
Okay, so more research is needed there.
Yeah.
What about horny goatweed?
So horny goatweed, or epimedium,
okay,
it's been used in traditional Chinese medicine for a long time as an aphrodisiac.
Like?
It has this compound called icariin.
Icariin?
Yeah, and they think it might work in a similar way to some of those prescription medications for erectile dysfunction.
Interesting.
So they think icariin might block an enzyme called PDE5. Yeah, which helps control blood flow to the penis.
Okay, so it's not just a funny name. There might be something to it.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away, the website also has all these customer testimonials.
Oh, yeah.
Viril Wood changed my life kind of stuff.
Right. And those can sound really convincing.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, they're just individual experiences.
Yeah.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah.
And, people who have a good experience are probably more likely to talk about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So
we have to look at the big picture.
Right.
And that's where these Medium articles come in.
Okay.
They might give us a more well-rounded perspective.
Okay, so this first one takes a different approach.
Okay.
This guy, he actually documented his experience with Viril Wood for 30 days.
Okay.
Week by week.
Wow.
He starts out pretty skeptical.
Okay.
But by week 4,
he
says he's noticing improvements in his energy.
Okay.
His stamina, his libido. You get the idea.
Yeah.
So it's like he's doing his own little experiment.
Right. But is that enough?
Yeah, is one person's experience enough for us to really say anything for sure?
Right.
And he does mention some possible side effects,
Okay.
like digestive problems and headaches.
Yeah.
Although he says he didn't personally experience any.
Okay, so even with something natural, you can have different reactions.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is bringing up an interesting point from the second Medium article.
Okay.
It's kind of a deeper dive.
Okay.
Looking at all the stuff Viril Wood says it does,
Uh-huh.
and really getting into how the ingredients are supposed to work.
Okay. Interesting.
And this article brings up some other potential benefits too,
Like what?
like increased confidence and better relationships,
Oh, wow.
which the other stuff didn't really talk about.
So they're connecting it to, like, your overall well-being,
Yeah.
not just the physical stuff?
Right. It's kind of like they're saying it's a life enhancer,
Yeah. Interesting.
not just, for the bedroom.
It's tapping into all these different things that people want,
Right.
not just one specific need.
Okay, so we've got these personal stories,
Yeah.
we've got the marketing claims,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got these analyses.
Yeah.
What stands out to you?
I think what's really interesting is that each of these sources gives us part of the picture,
Yeah.
but none of them tell the whole story.
Yeah.
We've got people saying amazing things.
Yeah.
We've got the company making big promises, and then we've got these reviews trying to be objective.
Right.
But it's up to us to figure out what it all means and whether it really lives up to the hype.
Well said. And to do that, we need to dig deeper into the science.
Yeah.
So stay with us as we explore the research on Viril Wood and see if there's evidence to back up these claims.
Sounds good. So welcome back to our deep dive into Viril Wood.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We see this kind of thing with a lot of health products.
Uh-huh.
You've got these, exciting personal stories,
Right.
the company making big promises. Yeah. And then these more analytical reviews that are kind of like, wait a minute. Right. It really shows why you got to think for yourself.
Absolutely. And, speaking of those personal stories,
Yeah.
let's go back to some of those user testimonials we found.
Okay.
So on the Viril Wood website,
Uh-huh.
they have one from this guy, Mark. He's 38.
Okay.
And he says Viril Wood worked for him when nothing else did.
Really?
Yeah. And he even says he can stay hard for a full hour now.
Yeah, okay. I know.
I mean, that kind of language, you see a lot with these testimonials.
Right.
It's meant to get your attention and,
Right.
appeal to a certain desire.
Yeah.
But again, we got to remember, these are just individual experiences.
Yeah, it's like, how do we know if that's typical?
Yeah,
Or just like a one-off?
exactly.
And they have another one from Daniel in California. He's 54.
Okay.
And he's talking about feeling like a new man
Uh-huh.
and how even after, satisfying his wife,
Right.
he was ready for more.
Oh, wow.
His wife even had to tell him to stop.
Okay. I don't know about you, but that level of enthusiasm
Uh-huh.
makes me wonder if these are even real people.
Right. Are these real stories or just marketing? It's a good question.
Yeah.
Companies definitely want to present their product in the best light possible.
For sure. But then there's a testimonial from Robert in Texas.
Right.
He's 45.
Right.
And his story's a bit different.
Okay.
He talks about how his erectile dysfunction was actually hurting his marriage
Wow.
and how Viril Wood helped him and his wife.
Okay.
So it seems like he was looking for a solution to like a deeper problem,
Yeah.
not just a physical one.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It makes you think that for some guys, these products
Yeah.
might be about more than just, the physical stuff. Like
Right.
they might be worried about, being a man, performing well,
Yeah.
being intimate.
Uh-huh.
So it adds another layer to the whole thing.
Now, those Medium articles we talked about,
Right.
they also had some user testimonials.
Yeah.
One guy said Viril Wood helped him feel more confident and energetic,
Uh-huh.
not just in the bedroom,
Oh, okay.
but just like in his everyday life.
So again, we see that connection to this broader sense of well-being. It's like
Yeah.
they're saying this product can improve your whole life.
Exactly. And another user mentioned how it helped him with fatigue
Okay.
and gave him more stamina for his workouts.
Interesting.
So again, going beyond just the sex stuff.
It's fascinating how the supposed benefits keep expanding.
Right.
It shows how marketing often plays on all these different things we want.
Okay, but here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
One of the Medium articles
Yeah.
includes a testimonial from a woman
Oh, wow.
whose partner was using Viril Wood.
Okay.
And she talks about how it's been a game changer for their relationship.
Uh-huh.
It's like they're newlyweds again.
Wow.
So now we're seeing how this product could affect more than just the guy using it.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It shows that using something like this, it's not just a personal decision.
Right.
It can affect your partner, your whole relationship.
Right.
It brings up questions about communication, expectations, even consent.
You're right. It's not just about one person.
Exactly.
And of course, with all these positive testimonials, both articles are careful to say that results may vary.
Right.
And to talk to your doctor.
Yeah, of course.
Before trying any new supplement.
Which is responsible, but it also kind of highlights something interesting. With all the marketing and personal stories, they're admitting that this might not work for everyone.
Right.
And that there could be risks.
Yeah.
It reminds us that these products aren't miracle cures.
Right.
And that everyone's experience can be different.
Okay, so we've looked at all these different experiences.
Yeah.
From the guys who love it to those who are more cautious.
Right.
What can we take away from all this?
I think the main takeaway is that when it comes to products like VirilWood, there's no easy answer.
Right.
You've got the hype.
Yeah.
You've got people who are really excited about it. You've got differences in how people react.
Yeah.
And you've got potential risks to consider.
Right.
So you really have to think critically.
Yeah.
Be a little skeptical.
Uh-huh.
And talk to your doctor before you try anything new.
Yeah. Don't just believe everything you see online.
Exactly.
Or what other people say.
Your health is too important for that.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
But there's one more piece to this puzzle.
Okay.
The scientific research.
Right.
So let's move on to that now.
Okay.
And see what the evidence says about the stuff in VirilWood.
Sounds good.
Okay. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into VirilWood.
Yeah.
We've heard from guys who've used it, we've seen what the company says, and now it's time to look at the science.
Right.
And see what the research says about the ingredients. This is where it gets interesting, separating the hype from the actual evidence.
Right. You got to be careful because just because something's shown some promise in a study doesn't mean it's going to work, let they say.
Right.
Especially for something like male enhancement.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
We talked about L-citrulline before, which VirilWood says boosts nitric oxide for better blood flow.
Right.
What's the research say about that?
Well, there is some evidence to back that up.
Okay.
So L-citrulline is an amino acid.
Okay.
And our bodies can convert it into L-arginine.
Okay.
And L-arginine is what helps make nitric oxide.
Right.
And studies have shown that if you take L-citrulline supplements, it can increase your L-arginine levels and potentially improve blood flow.
So that's a point for VirilWood.
Yeah, for that ingredient at least.
What about maritime pine bark extract?
Okay.
They say it's good for circulation and reduces inflammation.
So maritime pine bark extract is a good source of antioxidants. And some research suggests it could be good for your blood vessels.
Okay.
But when it comes to erectile dysfunction specifically, there's not a ton of research.
Okay, so more research needed there.
Probably.
Now for the ingredient, I think everyone remembers. Horny goatweed.
Oh, yeah.
The website says it can boost libido and improve erectile function.
Right.
Is there any truth to that?
So horny goatweed, it's also known as epimedium.
Okay.
It's been used in traditional Chinese medicine for a long time as an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
And it has this compound called icariin.
Icariin.
Yeah. And some researchers think that it might work kind of like some of those prescription meds for erectile dysfunction.
So it's not just a funny name.
Right.
There might be something to it.
Yeah.
But does that mean it actually works?
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Some small studies have suggested that icariin might have positive effects on erectile function.
Okay.
But the quality of these studies, it's not always the best. Okay.
And we need better studies to really know for sure.
Okay, so the jury is still out on horny goatweed.
Pretty much.
We could go through all 14 ingredients.
Yeah.
But what's the bottom line?
Yeah.
Is there enough scientific evidence to support all the claims about VirilWood?
That's the big question.
Right.
You know, some individual ingredients, like we said, L-citrulline, they show some promise.
Okay.
But the research on the specific formula of VirilWood and how well it actually works for male enhancement, it's just not there yet.
Okay.
And it's important to remember, just because a product has ingredients that could be helpful, doesn't mean it's going to do everything it says it will.
So it's not a simple yes or no answer.
Right.
We've looked at the personal experiences, the marketing, the research, and it seems like there's no one-size-fits-all conclusion.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
When it comes to products like VirilWood,
especially for something like this.
That's why it's so important to be critical.
Yeah.
Do your research, weigh the potential benefits and risks, and most importantly, talk to your doctor.
Absolutely.
Before you make any decisions about your health.
Your health is too important for that.
Exactly.
Well, I think we covered a lot of ground today.
We did.
Hopefully this deep dive gave you some good info.
Yeah.
And some tools to think about male enhancement supplements.
It's a complicated world out there.
Yeah.
But if you're informed, you can make better choices.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for our deep dive into Viril Wood.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for listening, everyone. And remember,
stay curious.
Keep asking questions.
Keep learning.
And keep diving deep.